Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Wakamandu. We're back here at Wrenchtrenchers Garage. And I gotta work tonight, so I don't know how far I'm gonna get today. But we're gonna go back to messing with this AC system on here. I got some, I ordered a few little things from online. I ordered a new dryer. And I got this retrofit system that comes with oil. And with O-ring conditioner. Got this from eBay, it was like 20 bucks. This also comes with the tool to get the Schrader valve out. And it also comes with the little fittings to change over from the R12 fittings to the other one. Now, I have R134A fittings on the low side, but I'm just going to utilize the cap, and then I'm going to change the high side to the same type of fitting, just so it looks right. And I'm going to need that to do it. Charge. So, when using this stuff, it says it right here. It says, where did I see that thing at? It says you don't have to discharge the system. One can is sufficient for a complete R134 oil change. So, I don't know, discharge the system? We'll see what happens. May not have to do any of that. Maybe just change all the O-rings, add this stuff, put some AC Pro R134 in there, and that might just do it. So we're going to see what happens. I'm going to start. See you in a bit. Alright guys, so while I was down here, I made a little bit of a discovery. I actually saw a little bit of coolant right up in here. It was kind of bubbling up the paint a little bit. And I saw it when I squeezed it, it kind of dripped down some coolant. Now this is a brand new radiator, which is tucked up underneath this AC condenser. So there's a brand new radiator right above here. The problem, so with it being a brand new radiator, I'd hate to think that it's, I'd really hate to think that it's leaking already. So I went ahead and I messed with the hose up top. I just kind of shoved my old fat finger down here where it connects, and it's a little wet. So I'm thinking what it's doing is just kind of dribbling from here on down, and that's why it's not leaking all the way to the ground. It's just kind of just a little bit from here. And as you can see, I'm touching here. Now Teggy G pointed that out to me. And so I think this curved edge here, I think I can rotate it so the curved edge gets under there and connects, so that it doesn't touch this thing, because this is actually going to start slicing through eventually as this thing heats up and cools off and balloons and stuff like that. So before I start messing with the AC, I'm going to go ahead and take this stuff off here and then get down there and see if I can't rotate this this line. And then tighten up those clamps and see if I can't get that leak to stop there. If not, then I'm gonna have to go and get maybe a hose from Nissan. So I'm gonna mess with that first, because I don't want coolant leaking, and then I want to go ahead and go to the AC. So we'll work on that first. Kind of sucks. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll get back. But if you can see right down there, you can see that's where the coolant is kind of coming out, and I'm sure that's from the hose, and it's just kind of trickling down. So honestly, I'm just glad it's not the radiator leaking, because I don't want to take this front end off again. It's a pain putting it on. It's going to be a pain taking it off again. So no, I'm glad. So I'm going to go ahead and mess with this hose a little bit, see if I can tighten it up, clean it up, and hopefully that'll stop that, and I can continue with AC. Alright guys, so I managed to clock this thing where I have now like a finger's worth of room. Well, like a half a finger, maybe a pinky, but I do have a little bit of room in there now. It's not touching, should be fine. And I tighten this up. So let's hope this works. I'm sure there's going to be a residual. I'll drive it around like for a few days, see what happens. But I'm gonna move on to the this AC system. But first thing I noticed when I started doing this, when I messed with the AC system, so there's a little bit of difference between this guy that dryer here and the dryer here. So you know you got the in, the out. There's just some differences here, and have to put this sensor to this side here, and then it's got like these prongs here for I don't know what. So yeah, so let's see what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go ahead and take this part off here. I removed the one underneath already, and I guess, you know, it'll probably be best to just tear this whole thing apart, so that's probably what I'm gonna end up doing. So onward. Alright, well, here's a closer look at the old dryer and the new dryer. I'm gonna have to remove the sensor and put it on this one here. And yeah, this dryer is just a little bit smaller, which that doesn't bother me. But yeah, so I'm gonna start taking stuff apart on this thing, and then just go ahead and drop it in there. So alright guys, as it gets later and later, I ended up putting the O-ring in this one right here. This is the one I was leaking before, but it did stop the leak with the regular O-ring, but I put an O-ring that is supplied right here. These little green ones, you can pick them up at any store. Those are actually made for AC units, and they come in the perfect size. So I put one in here, and then I went and I put one in here, right here, and I cleaned off these threads just as much as I could. I also put an O-ring. Also put O-rings in here. You can see they're green now, not black. And I also put an O-ring on each side of these. Oops. On each side of those. And I cleaned these threads with just a touch of WD-40. And I'm going to put this thing back together. But as I was looking and thinking of how this thing goes, this says this is do not use in R12 systems. Now this system has been converted over to R134A, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and put it in there straight, just like it is, because it's just a mixture of things that help it out. And I believe I've lost a lot of oil from things leaking and the AC compressor going, so I don't think all the oil is in the compressor anyway. It's been there for a while. I'm thinking I'll be fine just going ahead and going straight, putting this stuff in, and then putting the AC Pro in there right after that. So I believe I'll be fine there. So you know, this stuff has to have oil running through the system. I've been using new lines. You know, some of the oil is going to spread through the lines, things like that. At least 2 ounces of it. I know it takes a total of 5. There's 3.5 ounces of that stuff in there, but it also has let's see, from what it says, it has 8.5 ounces of polyester lubricant and 3 ounces of R134A oil. So I think this will be just enough. I think everything will be just fine as long as I go through here. So yeah, if it blows up, then well, at least I got a dumpster fire with the spare with the spare compressor. So I'll dump that out and make that R134. So anyway, I think we'll be fine. I'm going to keep moving along. I'm going to put the lines in, and I'm going to charge the system with this stuff, and then I'm going to go and get some R134A from the store, AC Pro, and it shouldn't take much more. It should just take maybe a small container. So we'll do that, and I'll see you in a bit. Oh, and also, I got to change that cap, so I'm going to do that. Alright, so just to show you, I ended up putting the caps on. This came with the kit. This is the same one, this is the same fitting that was on there from before. It wasn't leaking. It fills from that side just fine, so I didn't mess with it. So all I did was just stick a cap on there just to make it look better. The high side, I stuck the cap on this one too, but it was pretty easy. All I had to do was just this is the high side cap. It's basically a straight through thing so that you can get to the Schrader valve. So basically you just screw it on there as far as you can, so you can connect something to the Schrader valve if you have to, like if you're gonna pull vacuum on this or anything like that. you can connect straight to the straighter valve. So you just kind of screw it on there, then I just capped it. Should be fine. I know I probably should pull vacuum on this first, but I know the problem was the line itself, and I know I probably lost a little oil, so I'm just going this route for now. Shouldn't have to do anything crazy, and if it works, that'll be great. If it doesn't work, then I'll look like a stupid ass. So, but I'm gonna try this anyway because I can. So here we go. All right, so I've run all my hard lines. You can see the one down in there. That's been run all the way up to here. That's where the air dryer is going to go. I decided to do the air dryer last because you don't want to leave it exposed for too long. Down here, see the line is run up and out of the way. On over to here with new O-ring and seated correctly. Now, I just got to put this dryer in and see if I can't get you a good shot of that. So you can see those lines sticking up here. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prep the dryer by taking these two tabs off and taking this nut out. Alright, so that nut right there just happens to be a 14 millimeter. I'm gonna take that out right now. So what I had to do was I took this sensor out of the old one and I'm just going to put it in the new one. This sensor also has an O-ring, so I'm going to replace that. Just to show you what I'm doing here. There was a lot of pressure in here, so when it released it hurt my ears. So this sensor right here is going to go in here. And the way the sensor is set up, I don't think polarity matters, because everything's pretty identical on that thing. So, but judging how it was kind of angled down in the way the plugs were angled down, I'm still going to try to put it in the right orientation. Alright, so with a quick trip to the store, I went and got these little screws, and they're longer than the other stuff, so they should actually reach, and I should be able to bolt this together. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. Well, guys, it looks like I'm kind of stuck, because the fitting right there on the part itself is too big. It's wrong thread size. Won't fit. So, yeah, wrong thread size, and it will not fit. So, hey, what's up, everybody? We're back. It's the following day, and basically we're going to continue on with our little AC fix on the Nissan. I decided that I was going to go ahead and stop at the store, and we're going to go ahead and pull vacuum. I rented this setup, and then I also rented a vacuum pump. And once again, AutoZone to the rescue, because I picked up a new dryer, a new AC dryer, because the one that I purchased online, well, the fittings were wrong. So I have to trade everything over from the old stuff to this one once again. I've done it once, and I guess I'm gonna have to do it again. And I left this stuff outside, so it's hot now. But it's kind of warm outside today, so it's a great day to kind of test, do some AC testing. It'll be a great day, be an even better day if the AC actually works today. So before, I was just gonna go ahead and just throw the oil coolant and stuff in there and let it ride, see what happens. But that's not the proper way to do it, and since I'm able to just rent this stuff, I've decided to go ahead and pull vacuum. So I'm gonna pull vacuum, and then if it works, cool, I can take the stuff back and get my money back, and I'd only spend a couple of dollars. So that's pretty nice to know. So without further ado, I guess I showed you all the other stuff from the other day, and if my camera's a little funky, it's because I dropped it. Don't tell my wife I dropped the camera. She just doesn't like, she likes to say, no, we can't have nice things, and you know, can't have nice things. Anyway, yeah, but what's the use of having anything if you can't break it, huh? Here, give me an excuse to get a 4K camera. Then you guys can see me in high def and then see how pretty I really am. Anyway, let me go ahead and get started on this. Let's pop the hood. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a link in the description of a guy that of a YouTube channel or YouTuber who shows the proper way to use this thing. And I've used one once before, but you know, every once in a while you need kind of a refresher on this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set this thing up now. If I can find a good way to hang this up. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So basically you just find a good place to hook this up. Find a good place to hook it up like so. And then basically you got your low line here, you got your low here, you got your high here, and you make sure you connect them to the corresponding piping here and here. But before they do that, I have to close the system, because right now the system is open because I had to take that dryer that I got back out because the fittings weren't right. But now that I got the correct dryer with the correct fittings, I'm going to go ahead and stick that dryer in there, and then I'll go ahead and hook this system up, and then we'll pull vacuum and see what we got. So I'll see you in a bit after I'm all set up. I'll leave, like I said, I'll leave a link in the description below on how to actually hook this up. This guy explains it really clearly, and because I got to get going, I can't really do a full tutorial on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'll show you, I'll get back to you when I'm pulling vacuum and after the dryer is in. So I will see you in a bit. Alright guys, as you can see, I have everything hooked up here. I am pulling vacuum. That's why, as you see here, I'll zoom in and give you a good little look-see here. Alright, so you can see there that I'm pulling, and the PSIs are in the negative because I'm pulling vacuum on it to check for any vacuum leaks. And I've been pulling vacuum for about an hour now, just to make sure, you know, all the moisture and stuff is out of there, just trying to clean it up a little bit. Some people leave it on there for a long time. I'm not. But actually, you know, it's about time. It's about an hour now. Everything's being pulled, so I'm gonna go ahead and shut the pump off, and then I'm going to well, first I'm gonna close the valves. You close these valves here, right? Close the valves, boop, and boop, like so, and then you cut the machine off. Do it in this order now, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let it sit for about another hour or so, and then I'll come back and check it again and see if I have any vacuum leaks in the system. So it'll tell me, because after about an hour it won't be negative, it'll be at 0. Alright guys, well, it is nighttime now, and this thing's been off for a couple hours now, for at least 4 hours, and you know what? Vacuum is great. It hasn't lost anything, so it's good news. But since it's nice and cool out tonight, I might take this guy out tonight, just drive it to work since it's the weekend, and then I'll be done with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it here because I gotta go to work. So see you later. Alright guys, it's another day. We got Tiggy G here. And he brought, guess what? He brought more parts. But yeah, we got some oil. We got some goodies here. So just to show you guys what I did yesterday. Unfortunately, I did not do any filming for it. But as you can see over here on this table, that guy is filled with AC Pro. Well, that's because I was a dum-dum and decided not to put the bolt back in that holds the line. Even though I drew vacuum and it didn't leak, I forgot to put the bolt back in, so when I put everything in there, it blew the line back out because of the pressure. But, however, I don't have the keys with me, But I promise you, there's cold air in this thing. It's cold. It was cold all last night. It was cold all today. So that tells me that that everything is sealed. It's been sitting around for about 16 hours and it still starts up and gets cold. So that tells me that all my leaks are sealed, and I'm really happy about that. But because I didn't really do a good tutorial about using the AC Pro, I'm just gonna give you the quick version. But here's your low pressure. You always know your low pressure because it is the largest hose in your engine bay for your AC. So that's your low pressure. Here's your high pressure. Every time you fill up anything, put oil in it or AC Pro, you always go from the low pressure hose. Because if you go from the high pressure hose, you're going to blow the seals out inside of your air compressor. So I always go from the low pressure. Alright, so plug it up, squeeze the can, and then go from the 3 to the 12 o'clock position several times for about 10 minutes. And then make sure that your vehicle is on and running. Make sure you have the AC on full blast and at the coldest it'll get, so that when this stuff cycles through, you'll know that your AC clutch will kick in instead of just this rotating. This will click in and the whole thing will rotate, compressing the refrigerant and then making cold air go into your vehicle. Now, like I said, I don't have the keys right now. We got stuff to do, so I am not going to show you that the car is cold because they don't have temperature vision. And I'll get back with you guys later.